Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to the first meeting of the Post Falls City Council meeting in 2025. Rhiannon, please note, I'm sorry, I'm looking over here for you. We changed the layout, so I'm looking in the wrong direction tonight. Hopefully I'll get used to it soon. Please note that all council members are present. I want to make an announcement up front, folks. I know what the majority of you are here for. Let me put it this way. The City of Post Falls has no purview over the approval or denial of the expansion of the marina at Templins. That is something that we have no control over, period. There was an open comment period that was allowed, so people could weigh in and tell them what they wanted. But the city will, but by the time anything comes to the city for approval as far as that development, that decision will already have been made. Now, so people say, well, we can speak under the public comment section. Let me read something from the public comment section. Citizen issues. This section of the agenda is reserved for citizens wishing to address the council regarding city-related issues. Again, the development of Red Lion, that whole area, will become a city-related issue. The approval or decline of the request to expand the marina does not fall under our purview. Now, what we will do is, it's really not city-related business, but if you want to pick one person to bring your concerns forward under citizens' comment, I poll council, we would allow that. But that makes no sense for us to sit, it's not right, first of all, because it's not city-related, and we're not supposed to listen to comment. But if you want to select one person to bring the issue forward, if our attorneys will approve that, I would allow that. Is that something that we can do?
It's up to the chair, so okay. You can certainly have a spokesperson.
Okay. So anyway, if you want to select one person, that would be fine. But I don't want everybody to sit here. It's going to be a fairly short meeting, but I want you to sit here through the meeting and be disappointed when you're not allowed to testify under public comment, number one. Number two, I want you to know that, again, we make no decision on that. So I don't want you to think we're not paying attention to you, but we can only make decisions on issues that come under our purview. So I just wanted to address that up front so everybody's aware of it. I know I have received one email, and I think some of the other counselors are receiving emails about it. But again, we cannot make a decision under something that doesn't fall under the areas that we're responsible for. So with that, we'll proceed with the meeting. Are there any amendments to the agenda tonight?
There are none.
Are there any declarations of conflict?
Oh, yes. I have a conflict on the consent calendar. So can I recuse myself from that? I'm a member of the church that's on the consent calendar.
Which item is that?
Item F.
F. You have that?
Yeah, so why don't we pull that one off of the consent calendar and vote on it separately so that you can just abstain from that one.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Samantha.
You need a motion for that?
Sure.
I would move to remove item F from the consent calendar.
Second.
Motion second. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Stigleader?
Aye.
Malloy?
Aye.
Ziegler?
Aye.
Westland?
Aye.
Davis?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much. You know what? I forgot mayor announcement, so let me back up here. The City of Post Falls has received the Government Finance Officers Association Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for the 2023 budget. Recognition is a significant achievement reflecting the commitment of our Finance Director, Jason Faulkner, and his team to the highest principles of governmental budgeting. Congratulations to Jason and his team for this outstanding achievement and for setting the bar high for fiscal responsibility and transparency in our city. The City Council will hold a special meeting on Thursday, January 16th at 5 p.m. to interview candidates for City Council seat number 2, which was vacated by Josh Walker. The January 21st City Council meeting has been canceled. The next regular meeting will be Tuesday, February 4th. The city is still collecting responses for the Housing Needs Survey. If you have not yet participated, please visit the city's website to complete the survey. The survey closes Friday, January 17th. And City Hall and city business offices will be closed on Monday, January 20th, in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. For life-threatening or in-progress emergencies, please call 911. The police department will remain open for walk-in emergencies. For water-related emergencies, call 208-773-3517. Now, would you please present the consent calendar?
Item A is minutes for December 17th, 2024 City Council meeting. Item B, payables from December 19th, 2024 through January 8th, 2025. Item C, Mongeau Meadows Annexation Agreement. Item D, Shaver Auto Body Zone Change Reason Decision. Item E, North Place East Second Edition Subdivision Construction Improvement Agreement. Item G, Acceptance of Easement and Right-of-Way from Land Camp LLC. And item H, North Place East 2024 Subdivision Master Development Agreement.
Questions on the consent calendar?
I would move to approve the consent calendar as amended.
Second.
Motion seconds, further discussion? Roll call, please.
Stigleader. Aye. Malloy.
Aye.
Ziegler.
Aye.
Westland.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I would move to approve the Mountain View Bible Church Annexation Reason Decision ANNX-23-6.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion? Roll call, please.
Malloy.
Aye.
Ziegler.
Aye.
Westland.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Do we need to show Councilor Stigler as,
I think we've got
perfect,
that.
okay, thank you. Thanks, Joe. Next item up tonight is public hearings, and we have one, it's fiscal year 2025 budget amendment number 2. No offense, Jason, but you're too close.
You know, I was
Relax, I
thinking,
can see everybody, and I like that, just standing there where I feel like I neglect the end, people on the end, so.
Yeah, it's gonna take some getting used to, because
Need
that
some
podium is
spotlights.
real close.
No, I don't want any shiny on my head.
a lot of
It's hard-
hand
bad enough.
movements,
between.
please.
Yeah,
Or one
I
hand
do
under
like the
your
podium's
chin.
a little taller too, so I don't feel like I can hide behind it a little better.
Go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have,
Let me open the public hearing. Sorry about that. Thank
all
you.
right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight, we are finished with fiscal year '24, and we have some items that we have either wanting to purchase or some projects that are not completed yet from 2024 that we do need to carry forward to fiscal year 2025. And I have submitted items in the council packet, but I wanted to put together a brief of what those items are. Urban Forestry has ordered a vehicle, has not received it yet, and that is $26,715. Parks has a robotic mowing equipment on purchase for $63,091. Vehicle uplift for $24,257. Another maintenance truck with a utility bed for $65,000. And they are planning to do a well replacement at Camelin and also a Singing Hills irrigation project for $365,241. Those items are coming from the general fund. Street Department is planning to redo the Celtice Street construction for $1.9 million, and that will be also general fund. Wastewater capital, they have a couple projects in mind for improvements. The solids handling of $449,790. Lundy Boulevard, their water line extension for $115,600. The Water Department would like to rehab well number 4 for $1,156. $1,156, excuse me. And also the Water Capital Fund would like to redo the Westwood Water Distribution Project of just over $1 million in itself. And those two funds for the water will come out of the dedicated water fund, and the Water Capital Project will also come out of the Water Capital Fund. And as a recap, oh, sorry, my formatting is off. As a recap, the general fund is $2,444,304. The water capital, which is $565,390. The water fund is $1,156,000, and the water capital fund is $1,090,136. Those are broken out by funds, and each one, the money is in each individual fund, but the expense has been rebudgeted. I'm planning to rebudget for this year, so the money wasn't spent. We'll just be carrying it forward to 2025. That's all I had. Does anybody have any questions? questions?
Questions of Jason?
I read here in the packet, it was a little bit clearer, and then there was one thing you said that maybe I would like to clarify.
Okay.
That, maybe on slide number 4,
Okay.
one of our departments is deciding how they want to use that money. You say the Westwood Water Distribution
Oh,
Project?
they're planning on redoing, on doing the Westwood Water Distribution Project in the Water
I
Capital
think
Fund?
the way he said it sounded like they're trying to say, it was previously approved.
Yeah, it was
but not
previously
done.
approved last year.
Okay.
It just, the
Yeah.
project didn't happen, and so in order to have it occur this year, I just need to amend the budget and bring those funds forward from 24 to 25.
Okay, sorry, that's how I understood it in the
Okay.
packet, but just the
Alright.
way that it said it almost sounded like we have this money, we're just trying to figure out how to spend it.
Oh, no,
and
no.
that- Okay.
Yeah,
Whenever we see a budget amendment like that, that's what it's for. It's that it was
Yeah.
approved, money was set aside, the project didn't take place, or the vehicles
they
weren't
didn't
purchased.
get-
So
yeah.
in order to account for it, you have to move it forward. So,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Thank you for that.
thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
Anyone wishing to testify? You're over here again.
No, we do not.
Gosh. And you're not going to rebut, so with that, I will close the public hearing. Council, how would you like to act?
I would move to approve the fiscal year 2025 budget amendment number 2.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion. Roll call, please.
Malloy.
Aye.
Ziegler.
Aye.
Westland.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Stigleader.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next up tonight is unfinished business, returning ordinances. We have none, followed by new business, which we have none. Next item is a citizens' issue, and this section of the agenda is reserved for citizens wishing to address the council regarding a city-related issue that is not on the agenda. And we have a timer, and like I say, first of all, does anybody outside of the marina, anybody wishing to testify on any issues? All right. If you've agreed on one person that would like to come forward and just make your concerns known, we will allow one person to testify. Name for the record, please. And I can't see, where is our timer?
It's
He's working on it.
by Warren.
Oh, it's over there. Okay.
There we go.
How much time?
5 minutes.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, good evening, Mayor and council members. We are all
Name for the
here.
record?
Oh, Cheryl Schofield
Cheryl.
and Post Falls. We're all here on a 12 to 24-hour notice. Otherwise, there would have been hundreds here because there's a lot of citizens and residents that are not happy with this marina expansion. And so one of the points is that the reason we came here was to let you know, because the citizens have to have outlets, to know. We had the hearing, it's going to be ruled, but one issue was, Mayor, that you wrote a letter saying that you would like this development and all that, and I was wondering how many people of the residents along the river or in Post Falls or anything like that that you checked with to see if this would actually be a good thing, because it seems to be more like a profit, a big business thing, rather than a citizen's concern and what's best for our river. And so there were 13 different departments that were asked for a comment, and sad to say, not even the, it's slipping my mind right now because I didn't write it down, but only the sheriff replied with no comment. The environmental people replied with no comment, and one other department replied with no comment. The rest of the people didn't even reply. And we know that we've had many meetings with the sheriff saying that there's a problem, that our river, we've almost reached maximum carrying capacity. Many people testify about their shorelines being destroyed, about the safety on the river. I mean, our neighbor, he is an elderly gentleman, probably 82. He was riding a wave runner with his grandson, and they were hit by another wave runner. And the sheriff says there's no incidences. Well, that's because we have nothing to report these things to, because the sheriff only patrols this river maybe 2 days a week. So that's not a fair assessment, I don't think. But the sheriff did receive a $17,000 donation from Stancraft right before his election. So maybe that's why there's no comment. But anyway, so it's one thing that we had noted that is that the developer is saying they're staying within their footprint, which at the hearing, it was revealed that they are not staying within their footprint. They are asking to encroach on the west, south, and east sides, and we actually have homeowners here that would like to oppose that because it's right in front of their complex. And when they notified the right and the left, 75 homes over here approximately in River Run, to the east, and then the condominium complex, Greenview, to the left or the west, their letter was returned to sender, and no one made any effort to follow up with that and see what the people at the Greenview apartments wanted. So that's the extent of the people that were notified. Us homeowners across the river found out from the River Run Association, so we felt that it was not our right to make the decision and just say, oh, okay, they're following all the rules, just go for it. We decided to file for a hearing, and we had the hearing, and at the hearing, it was revealed that although Standcraft is saying they're staying within their footprint, it was revealed by the Idaho lands that no, they are not. They are trying to extend out to the log boom and encroach into water that that Templins has never had a permit, and there has never been a permit before. So we are saying that you guys have ability to influence because you are our leaders, and so we are concerned because if they win that encroachment, Edgewater Condos to the west of the dam also wants to file for more slips, and so we'll
Just wrap it up, if you will, please.
Shoot. Okay, so anyway, to make it a little shorter, to tie it up, we feel that we can stand on IDAPA 20.03.04 that states that the waters must be regulated in order that the protection of property, navigation, fish and wildlife, recreation, aesthetic beauty, and water quality be given due consideration and weighed against the navigational or economic necessity or justification for what is being proposed. So, in my
Wrap it up
words,
for me,
I
please.
just
We're over
say
5.
it's profit over the people's water, and it's a water grab. So, please.
So, just for informational purposes, yeah, we were contacted whether or not we would support. I wholeheartedly support the redevelopment of the Red Lion. and
Absolutely.
It depends on
Hotel.
what happens with the marina. That's not us. I want to see that redevelopment, not weighing in on the marina itself. But, it's interesting because I'm assuming, I know at least one person out here has been around the area for a long time. I grew up swimming in that river. My folks had a cabin. I used to be able to jump in the water and swim back and forth across the river and never worry about a boat.
Not anymore.
I've seen the changes. I wouldn't even go off the dock at this point. And so I know it is an issue. And when I look at something like that, as you mentioned, it's big profit. I will speak for myself, and I think I can speak for council as well. When we look at a development, I don't look at it for profit or expense, because I know that if a development takes place, it's going to be an additional call for city services, despite whatever tax revenue it may generate. So
Yeah.
I never look at it, from my perspective, it's going to be, as you said, big profit. So that's one issue, a couple issues. I've been here, I've seen the development, I've seen it. I've also have friends who live on the river who say that, this is just them, but they say that when they bought, they realized that every couple of years they're going to have to review or look at the riprap to make sure that they maintain their shoreline. You mentioned the sheriff. Again, can't do a thing about it.
I know.
The sheriff patrols that, we don't. And, what the sheriff does or doesn't do is up to the sheriff.
Yeah.
So again, we hear you, we appreciate your concern, but understand, I will support the development of the Red Lion itself, but I'm going to see, I don't know if that will include the if the marina's not developed, I'm still going to support the redevelopment of that facility.
Absolutely,
And
and
so-
we are in support of them developing the
Yeah.
hotel
Yeah.
and even just remodeling
Right.
the slips they have. But as it is, people think that there's going to be more public slips, but there's going to be 5 less public
Yeah, well,
slips,
again, that's-
and the
that's-
rest are going to be
Yeah,
private.
that's all, from our perspective, that's all up to the Department of, is it Water? Department of Lands.
Department of Lands,
Department of
yes,
Lands.
believe me.
And
We're
so
working
again, that's,
closely.
yeah, that's who you need to work with on it.
We
We
are.
appreciate what you're saying, but understand, we can't rule on it either, so.
Yeah, we
But
understand,
but
we
folks, I
just wanted to
appreciate-
come.
I know you're here. I know probably several of you wanted to talk, and I appreciate you understanding that we have certain things we can and can't do. And so I appreciate the fact that you have allowed one person to speak for you. And know that we have heard what you said, and we'll just see what the decision is as we move forward. So again, thank you for your cooperation in that regard. Next item up is administrative staff reports, and we have 2. The first is the Corbin Lift Station Rehabilitation Project. Jackson.
I'm going to do my best to do the pivot number with you guys. Right. Mic test. Good evening, Mayor. Whoa. Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Jackson Fleshman, Project Manager, City of Post Falls, here to present to you tonight on our Corbin Lift Station project. Little background, the original Corbin Lift Station was constructed in 1987, identified in our collection system master plan as a low reliability station with limited site access. A few years ago, the opportunity arose to obtain some additional property needed for the station. So we were able to obtain what's in the light blue as a 75 by 100 site footprint. And then, excuse me, also as a part of that agreement, we were able to acquire a temporary construction easement, which allowed us to construct. There's some pictures later on in the presentation. You'll be able to see just how tight that site is. So some of the actuals of what occurred for the project. Our wet well size increased pretty significantly. We added overflow emergency storage, constructed a new electrical control building, got a better on-site backup generator, and sometimes this is the most important thing depending on who you are, but we had improvements to our odor control system. Timeline of the project. So back April 2022, we kicked off design. Summer 2023, we bid and had an award in July. Project kickoff in September 2023, but actual construction began in February 2024. At this point, we're still dealing with a little bit of that supply chain issue that we have for the past 4 or 5 years now. And it seems to work out fairly well in our projects to give the contractor time to work through their submittals, procure equipment, and it saves us the heartache of having a change order to add time down the line. And then we achieved substantial completion September 2024. Gotta remember to breathe when I'm talking. Excuse me, guys. Budget. Favorite topic for everybody here. I want to point out a specific number there. So that $48,000 is what was approved by council through amendments 1 and 2. That's 12% of Welchcomer's original contract, which is a bit higher than, we aim for 0, of course. I don't want to say we aim for anything. We aim for 0, but it's a bit higher than we typically see. Everything other than that figure stays the same on this next slide, but the actual used for this project was only $25,500. Gives us an opportunity to explain. So amendments 1 and 2 in this project, or just to give an example to speak on it, these 2 amendments were brought to council very early on. I want to say February, March timeframe. So when project began, when we broke ground, dug on site, had some unknown discoveries, which led to additional services being needed to adjust those. At the time, I think I just want to illustrate it. It speaks to how we try to conservatively estimate these things. So we were trying to anticipate the additional services needed by Welchcomer throughout the course of the project at the very beginning, which is a difficult thing, but we try to be conservative in that estimate. That way we come back to you guys with less spent instead of a third additional service or more. That being said, original contract amount with the amendments came to about $368,000 for Welchcomer's engineering and construction management agreement. And then Luriviere Construction, look, oh my goodness, Luriviere's construction contract. Their bid came in at 1.61 million and had a total about 4.4% in change orders, which came to 1.686 and some change. Zooming out a little bit, more broad overview of the budget. In our 2019 master plan, cost estimate for this project came in at 1.2 million. And important to note that at that planning level, engineers give us a double or half of that number estimate. Yeah,
Okay.
it is a large variance there. Escalated cost, if you were to take a 5% inflation since then to 24, would be about 1.63 million. At time of bid, we had an updated engineer's estimate from Mulchcomer that came in at 2.1. That included their design contract, didn't include their amendments. And then their estimate of construction at 1.76, which the actual construction was just under that. So our 2024 actual spent was 2.06, so about $40,000 under. And we were on time. And this is the fun part where I get to just tell you guys all the cool photos. I think this stuff's fun. Maybe you guys don't. But picture on the left there, that's our upgraded wet well. That's 144-inch diameter, so 12-foot inside diameter wet well. It's about 30 foot deep. Picture to the right shows that same wet well, obviously backfilled and taking a step back. But more importantly, you can see more or less where you're standing in that picture, where I'm standing in that picture, is the southwest corner of the new property, or close to it. And that green fence in the background is actually the back of the existing site. So it is, we got a lot more site, and the existing site was very, very close, very small to the street. Here to the left, that green fence, again, on the right side of that left picture is the back of the existing site. What you're looking at in that left-hand picture is our overflow storage, which allows our operators additional time to get to the site before something catastrophic happens. Picture on the right, that circular structure is that same 30-foot deep wet well. Next to it is our valve vault. To the right of that is where the building footprint is going to be, which you see on the left, the foundation being poured. And then this picture on the right is a little more finished. Most of the site work's done. The round structure right there in the center, again, is that 30-foot deep wet well. And then this black post right in the center is the southeastern corner of our actual property. And you can see the control building kind of to the left there. And here's my attempt to get the best before and after. It's a little off-center, but you can see the tire service building off in the background there. So left is before, right is after. Big issue we had on this, with this site in general, was our operators being able to access the site. Small site, lots of constraints. So our upgrades have really improved that. And here we are for questions. This is just a good picture of the site through the fence. So
Well, it's great to have a project come in under budget.
yeah, and
So-
on time. They were.
On time, that's
It
even
doesn't
better,
happen
yeah.
very often. So
Right.
hopefully it happens more often, I guess I should say.
Yeah. Any questions of Jackson? Thank you. I think that was
Awesome.
good planning on staff's part when that property became available.
Yeah, absolutely,
Temporary easement and then to be able to buy, so
for sure.
well thought out.
And give John Beecham some credit for that one. He was, I think, kind of the mastermind there.
I did ask John Beecham today when I got to buy him his celebratory libation for the completion of the Phase 2.
There you go.
He said, somewhat hopefully, maybe within a month. So,
There you go.
and we will have an update on that coming forward, so.
Perfect. Well, thank you, council.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next item up is the fiscal year 2026 budget process. I can't believe we're talking about budget again already.
No, right? It seems like we just did
I
this.
think we did.
So we're a quarter of the way into the fiscal year 25, which means it's time to talk about fiscal year 26. So wanted to give you a quick update of how we anticipate this rolling out throughout the spring. Obviously, we don't get budget numbers from the county and the state for some months still, but it helps to have a better idea of sort of council's priorities, where you want to see the budget go earlier than that. So as we start to receive information from the city departments in February and March timeframe, that we can start sifting those through your priorities. And so what we are looking at as a way to get us through the first parts of this year, see if we can get this thing, there we go. So what we're looking for tonight is to sort of give you a heads up that we're going to try to have a couple of longer workshops, as well as a couple of input points where we're looking for information from you, as well as soliciting your input on whether or not there's additional steps you would like to see us taking during this initial part of the year. So, by January 31st, what we would like to see from you would be, if you have any big picture budget items that you would like to see funded in this upcoming year, we would love to hear about that. That way we can start putting that into our budget workshops and start putting them together in a way that we can bring them back to you at our first workshop. Because we don't have budget dollars or budget amounts at this point in time, we're really thinking high level, 30,000 foot. We don't need necessarily your back of the napkin math on what you think it's going to cost. Just tell us, we would like to spend more money on doing street repair. We want to do more park access on the north side of town. Whatever it is that is sort of those big picture items that you would like to see us working towards on the budget, those would be helpful for us to know as we go into our first long budget workshop, which we're tentatively scheduling for February 20th. At that, what we're intending to do is we're going to take that list of big picture items along with the items that we may know about just that come up operationally that may or may not be on your radar. We're going to try to present those to you in a way that we think is a rational priority. And then we're going to try to go through an exercise where you all then reprioritize that list so we have a better handle on what your priorities are as a body on how we want to move forward as we start to put together our budget. Second ask would be by March 31st, which is a ways off, if you have specific budget requests that you would like to see funded. This is the period of time where the departments are all submitting their budget requests for the upcoming year. If you have specific budgetary requests, we would love to see those by March 31st. And this time around, it would be nice to the extent that you can throw a number at it, it would be helpful for us to then be able to put that in the hopper and put a number assigned to it. So again, as some examples, and this is one from last year, if you say we want to look at doing a Citizens newsletter, I think we want to spend about $50,000 towards that. We're not going to hold you to those numbers. It just gives us an order of magnitude number for us to work from. From there, we will put together our first draft budget and we'll present that to you, tentatively scheduled May 15th at our first actual budget workshop where we'll work through our draft budget with you. We'll explain our reasoning and our rationale for how we got where we got, and then we'll again try to do another workshop or exercise where we go through that and allow council to essentially regrade that a little bit, maybe put some items on, maybe take some items off. We're still working on exactly what that looks like, what the exercise looks like, but that's where we're headed, is to essentially coming out of that first budgetary workshop to have hopefully a more refined budget that hits your priorities and captures any specific funding requests that reflects what the council is looking to accomplish. So, back up. So on calendar, so if you're looking at the calendar, that's kind of the timeline I just went through, what we're looking to accomplish. Questions, comments, thoughts, anything else you would like to see us putting together as we work through this first initial period of the budget this year?
Yeah, I would like to see more information from individual departments about their kind of financial position. The last time we did kind of a big picture priority thing, and then the budget came back through workshops, but it was mostly put together by the time we were looking at it at that point. And it was really hard to get a sense of where each department stands, because a lot of that was, department requests go in and then it's kind of sorted out, and then we were looking at it at the end, and then on some of the printouts, like operating capital budgets were not separated out, and it was not easy to sort of figure out where everybody stands. And I think for me to give good suggestions and feedback about how we want to change it, it would help me to have a better understanding of where each department stands right now. Some of that information I can get from budget documents, but a lot of it's not there because it's desired spending or it's deferred maintenance or things like that that's not in budget numbers.
And we can work on that. Maybe what I would suggest is maybe give us a ring if you have questions about specific items, and we can arrange time to sit down and see if we can answer those questions so we can get you the information you're looking for.
Okay.
we can certainly try to get you the better information regarding where each department is sitting.
I would agree with Randy specifically on the operating versus like capital. I found it very difficult to parse those last year. And maybe if there was a standard, well, and I appreciate that it was my freshman year, so sophomore might be better, but if there was a standard way that we talked about those numbers from meeting to meeting, that would be helpful as we move forward to make sure that we're comparing the same things, because what I found was that one meeting we would talk about the numbers in a certain circumstance or laid out in a certain way, and then when we got to actually approving the budget, they were presented differently, so I'd have to go back and try and figure out what we were talking about. And I actually did spend a decent amount of time with Mr. Faulkner, thank you so much, trying to get those numbers separated and lined back up, and it wasn't easy even between the two of us.
Warren, to clarify, you're looking for big picture information by the 31st.
Yes.
Budgets, individual departments, we're not going to actually start seeing those until March. So
We
it's a
start-
little bit difficult.
Yeah, we'll start putting together the asks from the departments as we get into March timeframe.
Thank you for bringing this forward and laying out a plan for this. I know last year we were running into statutory deadlines and things at the end, so
Yeah,
good to get a head start.
some of that is not our doing, it's we react to the numbers when we get the numbers, and fortunately, we've been late a little bit
We'll
lately,
probably see
getting
that in
numbers
the
from
future.
others.
Yeah.
But,
So,
great.
good.
Thank
Warren.
you.
Mayor and council comments. I believe council received an email stating that I have talked with several people as far as Josh Walker's open seat. 4 names will be brought forward, so you can ask questions of them. In a nutshell, I think the email that went out stated that in talking with, I polled all of you with the exception of Mr. Davis. Sorry, Ryan, but you were brand new. So I did talk with the other 4 councilors. Kind of the general rules were anyone who had run for and been defeated in an election should not or would not be considered. I know we had a request to bring someone that had more of a business background, and it's a good point, but I think when we look at it, we've got 1, 2, at least 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 that have pretty good business backgrounds right now, so that would just be adding to that, which is all right. Someone who would maybe perhaps listen more to the people, it was a request, and I think for the most part, we all try to listen to people, we do what we can. But in my selection of the people to interview, I tried to ferret out, it's probably a bad term when you're talking about people. I tried to select people who would meet those requirements. The other one was someone who had not grown up, if you will, in the structure of the city, had not come through a committee or a commission, someone from more the outside of the city. So those are the things I looked at when I brought forward the names, or when I decided who to interview and whose names I will bring forward. So hopefully I tried to solicit and listen to everyone's input. And a week from Thursday, we're going to follow the same format. We'll have all 4 the potentials there. We'll excuse 3 of them. We'll interview them one at a time. We'll give you each a chance to ask them questions. We'll bring them all back in, and I'll bring forward a name. Ask for confirmation. Council can either confirm or not confirm. If it's confirmed, we'll appoint the person that night. They will join us at the next meeting, which will be the first meeting in February. We had discussion when we appointed Mr. Davis about the need to do it quickly, and as I said last meeting, we needed to, because had we not, with Mr. Malloy being ill last meeting, we could not have conducted business. So I felt we need to have at least 5 people. With this position, we have a little bit more time because we do have 5, so it's easier to get a quorum. I'd hoped to bring it forward at I think it was the December 17th council meeting, but it just did not have the time to get through it. Then you get the holidays, and I'm trying to arrange time to meet with people. I did not know what the agenda would be for tonight's meeting. Sometimes, since we're canceling the next meeting because of Association of Idaho Cities and other various meetings in Boise, I didn't know if this would be a busy, full agenda or not, and I did not, if it was a full agenda, I did not want to take additional time for that part of the process. So I felt that a special council meeting would be more appropriate and easier to work with. So we are going to do that a week from next Thursday, and it is going to be in the new conference room upstairs. So everyone knows it'll be upstairs. So I appreciate your patience, allowing me the time to go through that process and bring these names forward. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Can we just confirm that's an open meeting for anyone that would like to
Yes.
join, so the public is welcome to come?
City council meetings are, unless it's executive.
I know, it's just a special meeting and a special,
Yep, always open. So, again, any questions, let me know, and we'll go from there. I've brought this up before, I'm gonna bring it up again, especially with the weather the way it could be, and the roads the way they could be. My wife and I were out walking our dog again this morning, and as we do every day, and some roads don't have sidewalks or trails. And so we always step off the road, and you get people traveling up the road that don't yield any space to you. There's no one coming in the oncoming lane, and they insist on staying in the exact lane and missing you by about 2 or 3 feet while they're holding a phone or texting. So I would just ask everybody, anybody that's listening, if you see folks walking and there's the ability to move over away from them, please do, because it gets scary, especially when you have a wonderful dog like me that doesn't know what a car can do to you and likes to try to inspect it. Even though he's on a leash, they can move out in front. So give pedestrians, especially the kids, give them room. I don't think any of us are in that big a hurry that we need to take that risk. So please be cognizant of that. Council, comments? No? Thank you. We do need executive session tonight for 2 issues.
I move to enter into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74-2061F to communicate with legal counsel for the public agency to discuss the legal ramifications of and legal options for pending litigation or controversies not yet being litigated but imminently likely to be litigated. The mere presence of legal counsel in executive session does not satisfy this requirement. That's new. And for authorization for mediation participation in City v. GVD Partners and Redtail construction litigation.
Second.
And it will last no longer.
Yeah, so
Oh, and further, sorry. Oh,
just to clarify, the executive session is just the 74-2061F. The subsequent action item is when we come back
Come back,
out of
okay.
executive.
Got it. So amended. Further, that no action will be taken during the session, and that the session will last approximately 30 minutes.
Second.
Motion second. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Ziegler.
Aye.
Westland.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Stigleader.
aye.
Malloy.
Motion passes. Thank you. We'll enter executive session. Call the meeting back to order. Are there any motions to come forward?
Move to authorize staff to attempt to resolve the dispute between city v. GVD Partners and Redtail Construction as outlined in the executive session.
Just add legal staff to that.
Legal staff.
Legal staff.
Motion second.
Second.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Westland.
Aye.
Davis.
Aye.
Stigleader.
Aye.
Malloy.
Aye.
Ziegler.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next motion is?
Adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.